When the Thompsons moved to Mayfield, a small town nestled in the shadow of the Blue Ridge Mountains, they didn't expect their new start to feel so somber. Peter Thompson, a landscape architect, had recently accepted a job restoring Mayfield's historic sites. Marie, his wife, was eager to embrace the change, especially as they left the bustling city life behind. With them came their only daughter, Lily, a lively 14-year-old with an infectious laugh and a talent for making friends wherever she went. They found an affordable unit in Elmwood Row, an apartment complex built in the 1940s. Despite its age and slightly decaying exterior, it had a certain charm. Peter and Marie quickly noticed that Elmwood had seen better days. Chipped paint, creaky floors, and occasional drafts were its trademarks. Yet, it seemed the perfect place for their fresh start. Lily, always cheerful, seemed to love the cozy layout of their new home. But something about her room felt off from the start. She insisted on keeping the windows closed, claiming she didn't like the cold draft that always seemed to slip through. It didn't take long for Peter and Marie to notice Lily becoming unusually quiet. The girl who once spent hours on the phone with friends or laughing at TV shows now sat alone in her room, her face drawn and pale. She no longer laughed, and her once vibrant eyes looked distant. "Is everything okay, sweetheart?" Marie asked her one evening. "I know moving is hard, but I thought you liked it here." Lily shrugged, barely meeting her mother's gaze. "It's okay, I guess." Peter tried to bring Lily's spirits up, suggesting weekend trips to the nearby lakes or letting her paint her room. But it was as though Lily had a shadow cast over her, a quiet tension she didn't want to speak about. At school, her teachers noticed a change as well. She no longer volunteered to answer questions and often seemed lost in her thoughts. One day, Mrs. Henderson, her history teacher, gently asked if something was wrong at home. Lily hesitated, then whispered, "Sometimes, I feel like I'm not alone in my room, but it's probably just my imagination." Mrs. Henderson gave a reassuring smile, but a shiver ran down her spine. She knew about Elmwood Row, the old complex with a mysterious reputation that most townsfolk avoided. She'd heard rumors, old stories whispered by those who claimed strange occurrences had plagued that place. But no one talked about it directly, as if acknowledging it would give the hauntings more power. One cold November evening, Peter and Marie were startled to hear faint whispers coming from Lily's room. It was nearly midnight, and they knew she wasn't on the phone. As they moved closer to her room, the whispering grew softer, fading into eerie silence. Marie knocked gently. "Lily, honey, are you awake?" Silence. Then, a muffled, almost strained, "Yes, I'm here." When they entered, they found Lily huddled in the corner, facing the wall, her body shaking. She seemed almost frozen, her eyes wide with terror. "What's wrong?" Peter rushed to her side. They're here. The kids. They come every night now," Lily stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. Peter and Marie exchanged a worried glance. "What do you mean, sweetheart?" Marie asked, kneeling beside her. "They're burned. I don't know why. They're always watching me. I don't want to see them, but they just stare. They want me to be like them." Peter tried to reassure her, but a chill gripped his heart. He recalled hearing strange stories when they first moved in, rumors of children who had died in a tragic fire decades ago, their souls supposedly trapped within the walls of Elmwood Row. He'd brushed it off as small-town gossip, but now, seeing the terror on his daughter's face, he felt a gnawing dread. Days passed, and Lily's condition worsened. She became withdrawn, her once vibrant personality now buried under layers of fear. She no longer ate with her parents, preferring to sit alone in her room, where she would speak in low tones as if having conversations with unseen beings. Marie once caught her talking to the air, her head tilted slightly as though listening. Peter finally insisted on seeing a doctor, A psychiatrist diagnosed Lily with severe anxiety, perhaps worsened by the move and the isolation from her friends. But Lily protested, insisting she wasn't crazy. "You'll never understand," she screamed. "They're here, and they want me to burn." One night, while Peter and Marie were preparing dinner, they called Lily to join them, but there was no response. After calling for her several times, Peter went to her room, only to find the door slightly ajar. He pushed it open and felt his heart drop. Lily lay unconscious on the floor, her skin bearing strange red marks, almost like burns. They rushed her to the hospital, but the doctors were baffled. There was no logical explanation for the burns on her skin. After regaining consciousness, Lily whispered to her mother, "I saw them again. They told me it was my turn. They want me to burn like they did." Desperate to understand, Marie sought out local historian Betty Harrison, who had lived in Mayfield her whole life. Betty revealed the dark past of Elmwood Row, recounting a tragic fire from the 1960s that had killed two young children, a brother and sister named Tommy and Emily, both around Lily's age. The fire had spread rapidly through one of the buildings, trapping the children inside as their parents tried, in vain, to reach them. The children's bodies were never fully recovered, and the fire left behind rumors of hauntings, as other residents reported hearing children's laughter, footsteps, and the faint smell of smoke. Betty warned that the spirits of Tommy and Emily were believed to be angry, trapped souls, targeting other children who moved into Elmwood. Over the years, children living there had claimed to see them, their spirits charred and watching from the shadows, waiting. When Marie shared this with Peter, they agreed they needed to move. But before they could, things took a darker turn. Lily began behaving as if possessed, her once gentle voice changing to something cold and eerie, claiming she wanted to stay with them. One night, as Peter went to check on her, he found her clutching a lighter, her eyes glazed, staring vacantly at her reflection. "They say I should join them, Dad," she murmured, her voice distant. "They say it's my turn." In a panic, Peter grabbed the lighter and pleaded with her to fight whatever force had taken hold. But Lily merely looked at him with hollow eyes, whispering, "It's too late." The family left Elmwood Row that night, barely taking anything with them. They moved in with a relative, praying that distance would help Lily recover. Over time, she regained her strength, but the memories haunted her. She refused to speak about the children, only hinting at their pleas for her to come play forever. A few months later, a new family moved into Elmwood Row. Their young son, Jacob, soon became withdrawn, quiet, and afraid to sleep alone. When asked, he would only say, "They're watching. They want me to burn." Elmwood Row remains abandoned to this day, its windows dark and empty. Yet locals claim that if you walk past late at night, you might still hear the faint, sorrowful voices of Tommy and Emily whispering from the shadows, "Come play with us."